Hi there, my name's Warren Grant, and I thought I would give you a brief overview of Maerathi Language, the Maerathi language that I created for the Nuadan Chronicles. Maerathi was created to add detail and color to the Nuadan Chronicles. I was tasked with creating something original to reflect the unique culture of the Maerathi in-game and permit the designers to have a consistent means to generate names for characters and places. The original design called for me to create a sort of hybrid language based on Irish Gaelic and Korean, two languages that are radically far apart in nature as well as geography. I ought to note that I speak neither of these languages. The result is something that works like a regular human language, but has its own sounds and features that distinguish it from any real-world human language. Maerathi has 26 consonants, shown here, which are mostly familiar to speakers of English. There'll be a few that are a little odder. They're shown using the symbols of the International Phonetic Alphabet, which is the way that linguists use to record the sounds of a spoken language. Maerathi has 10 vowels, shown here. And this is where it's going to get a little odder to speakers of English, because there's some sounds that simply don't occur in English. They do occur in other languages, but not in English. Notably, U, and It also features something called Vowel Harmony, which will be a strange concept to most English speakers. Basically, to the Maerathi, there are only 5 vowels, but they come in 2 forms, either regular or fronted. Speakers of Maerathi wouldn't notice the difference between them. They just recognized when something was being pronounced incorrectly. So the regular vowels are I, E, A, O, U. The fronted vowels are I, E, U. Now, you may have noticed that the first one I listed, in each case, E, is the same, both as a fronted or a regular vowel. Now, what that means is if a word begins with, or if the first vowel in a word is a regular vowel, then all the rest of the vowels in the word will have to be regular vowels. If the first vowel is a fronted vowel, then all of the vowels throughout the word will have to be fronted vowels. This is kind of a strange concept to get the hang of, and it's a very unique feature. It's not that common in world languages, but it's certainly not unknown. Maerathi also has 2 sets of distinct diphthongs, vowel sounds that are combinations of other vowels. It has a Y series and a W series, which is to say that every one of the regular and fronted vowels can also appear preceded by a Y sound or a W sound. So we have, for the regular Y diphthongs, Yi, Ye, Ya, Yo, Yu. For the fronted ones, Yi, Ye, Ya, Yer, Yu. For the W diphthongs, in regular, We, We, Wa, Wo, Wu. And for the fronted ones, We, We, Wa, Ver, Ru. So that covers the sounds of the language, more or less. Now we'll take a look at the grammar. It's an agglutinating language, which means the components of the language are added to a word, rather than modifying the form of the word. So the more functions a word is loaded with in the language, the longer it's going to get, effectively. It has no grammatical gender. There's no distinction between he, she, and it. It has no indefinite article, but does have a definite article. So to say a dragon, you would just say drei, literally dragon. To say the dragon, you would say hendrei. It has 7 cases, which are indicated by case markers attached to the end of a word, which you can see in this chart here. So, top of the chart on the right-hand side there, we have drei, a dragon. When you're talking about the dragon as an object of an action, it would be dreis. If you want to say of a dragon, it would be drein. If you want to say to or towards a dragon, it would be dreidin. If you want to say at or near the dragon, it would be dreiche. If you want to say with or using a dragon, you would say dreiwin. And if you want to say in company with or along with a dragon, you would say dreishta. Now, that last form of a word is also used when indicating possession in a lot of cases. Maerathi has a really consistent verb structure. It has 3 moods, indicative, subjunctive, and the cohortive or imperative mood. It has 3 tenses, past, present, and future. It has 2 voices, the active or causative voice and the passive voice. And each of the tenses has 3 aspects, either completed, repetitive, or continuous, with the continuous being the default. So verb forms can get fairly long because each of those things is going to be indicated in some way or another. The indicative mood has no marker because it's the default, but if a verb is in the subjunctive mood, it's going to have a bit added on. If it's in the past tense, it's going to have a bit added on, etc., etc. So if it's completed, it's going to have a bit added on. So the structure is consistent. There are very few irregular verbs that we've defined, and it's basically just additive the way it would be in most agglutinating languages. We've also created rules for compounding nouns. We've created a whole pile of conjunctions. We've got rules for how adverbs and adjectives work. And we've created a couple hundred words for the vocabulary, although that's being expanded all the time as they develop more material for the game and its background. I also created the Maerathi writing system, which you can see used up here, which has been created as a font so that we can consistently reproduce this stuff. Maerathi is divided into 2 distinct dialects, Maerathi proper and then the version that's spoken in Uldris, and we've detailed some of that. Right now, the difference is mostly spelling conventions, but there will be some differing vocabulary between the two as well. So in summary, we have a pretty good core structure for the Maerathi language established, and the only place that it's lacking is vocabulary, and that could be expanded upon as they make more expansions for the game and they add more details to the background and everything else like that. I realize there's no real effective way to make this stuff interesting, so if you've stuck through this so far, thanks very much. I hope you've enjoyed this overview of Hen Maerathi Kjöl, the Maerathi language. And I hope you enjoy the Nuadan Chronicles.